That's pretty much what I felt like coming home tonight with the humidity, so I put that up there. It was a NexGen breaking down on me there a couple of years ago. But yeah, I was a NexGen breaking down a couple of years. It's pretty much the way I felt in the humidity today. So, yeah. Humidity is horrible, guys. I took the train and I was about ready to drop by the time I made it back to my place. I was just ready to just break down right then and there. Just 15 minutes out in the heat, and I feel like a NexGen about on its last legs. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, it's very humid out there today. No surprise. The humidity is still with us, and we're dealing with just oppressive dew points in some areas. We got dew points in the 70s again. No wind, what to speak of, and not that hot, but extremely humid. Temperatures around 80 degrees. And that's what makes it feel really bad. So it's 78 with a dew point of 72. No wind out there. So I can't take the heat anymore. I can't deal with this weather anymore. I'm about ready to just, drop like a NexGen, It's horrible. Yeah, so where do I get started? So let's talk about the weather here. I'm joking around about the heat. I'm just trying to explain what it feels like trying to walk in this heat for me. I'm at 79 with a dew point of 69 at Farmingdale, but I want to see if we can get some storm reports from last night, if they have any at Mount Holly. We'll start with that, and then we got to talk about Hanna, and there's been some flooding as a result of all the rain that they've gotten. So let's go to the text products here at Mount Holly. Go to local storm report. Let's see if they've got some storm reports from last night. All right, they don't have it seems like they don't have a compilation, but they do have a waterspout here, Eagleswood Township. Eagleswood Township in Ocean County, New Jersey. So that's interesting. So they did have a waterspout there. Flash flood in Tuckerton in Ocean County. This was today. So let's see. Flash flood in Philadelphia. Heavy rain reports in Philadelphia. Waterspout off Seaside Heights. This was today. So they had thunderstorms today. Lightning struck a house in Camden County. All right, here is the summary from last night. So in Red Bank, they had a wind gust of 60 miles an hour with a power outage in Red Bank. Red Bank was almost completely out. JCP&L probably had a transmission line down. Monmouth Beach, 51 mile an hour wind gust, 49 mile an hour wind gust in Sandy Hook. In Salem, 44 mile an hour wind gust. Sandy Hook, 43, 4.25 inches in Spotswood in Middlesex County, and that is a northern part of the Pine Barrens, a northern outlier of the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. 3.23 inches of rain in Matawan. 3.06 inches of rain in Middlesex. 2.42 inches of rain in, all right, that's Delaware. I'm not going to go over Delaware. Hail, quarter inch in Ewing in Mercer County. A flood on the South River at State Highway 18. And that's in Middlesex County. A flood in Kendall Park in Somerset. Flooding damage to transformer and utility poles. Flooding on the Garden State Parkway near exit 117 in Keyport. A flood in Parlin. It's also Middlesex County, Garden State Parkway. Vehicles stuck in floodwaters on College Avenue in New Brunswick. Thunderstorm wind damage in New Brunswick. Several reports of utility poles and wires down in the New Brunswick and Society Hill area. Water rescue on Clark Street. A thunderstorm wind damage in South Boundbrook in Somerset County, New Jersey. Wires down. Damaged wires down and more wires down in Somerset. Hazlet, flooding on State Highway 35. Kendall Park, flooding. Flash flooding in Franklin Park area. Flash flood in South River. New Brunswick, thunderstorm wind damage. There's so many of these to go through. Monmouth County, flash flood in Atlantic Highlands. State Highway 36 and Valley Drive barricaded as a result of flooding. Time based on dispatch report. So insane. Thunderstorm wind damage in Spotswood. Wires down in the Old Bridge area. Wires down in Middletown in Monmouth County. And I believe that's where Phil Murphy lives. In Old Bridge, thunderstorm wind damage. Wires down near Texas Road in Spring Valley. I know exactly where that is. That's right by the Phillips Preserve. Thunderstorm wind damage in Rumson. Reports of wires down and numerous power outages in Seabright and Rumson areas. It's in Monmouth County. Fairhaven. Wires and widespread power outages in the area. Wires down in Lincroft. Wires down in Homedale. Wires down at the intersection in Trenton and Lakewood. So really crazy amounts of damage from these storms last night. Absolutely insane damage. Absolutely insane. And you could sort of see where this front is. It's just kind of hung up right offshore there. And this front has been stuck over New Jersey all day. And that's why they've been getting even more rain. I want to look at the... You know what I want to do? I want to see if there's any pictures. So let's go to... I guess Old Bridge patch. I don't know if they've got an Old Bridge patch here. And sometimes the patch has pictures of the storm damage, so we can see some pictures of anything. Anything on this? Nothing? Wow. Patch, you're a disgrace. Absolutely nothing. Well, we're going to go to News 12 New Jersey now, see if they have something, because I really want to see New Jersey. They did actually cover this. I'm not going to play the video, but they did cover the storms, so we're going to see, maybe they'll have some pictures of what happened. I'm just curious to see. Of course, I don't see it on the front here. See how hard it is for me to get information for you. Alright, this is, yeah. So, transformer fire causes power outages for hundreds in Old Bridge. So, it looks like there was a transformer fire at Old Bridge. I wish they'd have some pictures of some of the damage here. They have a video. Alright, I'll link the videos below. Alright. I don't know where the pictures are. I guess... I don't know. There's no pictures. Let's move on here. You know. Oh, right. All right. So let me go back to this map. I want to see the rainfall. All right. So we'll go to historical, and then it wasn't that hot. We had plenty of cloud cover. Temperatures were only low 80s. The humidity just stifling out there. So let's go over here and wait for this to load. I know it takes. Look at this. 75. The dew point is 75 in Jackson. It's very muggy out there. Okay, so let's look at the precipitation. Now we'll do precipitation since midnight. So look at some of these numbers here that you have. So you see some of these higher numbers here. Look at that. I mean, over 2 inches in this area. Kendall Park, one of the areas we read about the flash flooding. Hazlitt, Monmouth County. Yeah, you have some 2.83 at by Air Park. Belmore Farmingdale. So Belmore Farmingdale got 2.84 inches of rain from this. Lakewood. All these areas got over an inch. Even Toms River got around an inch. And this was from the rain that was stalled over the area today. Lanoka Harbor, 2.58. That's around Lacey Township. Long Beach Island, 2.83. And so some of these areas really got pounded with the rain here. New Gretna, 3.69. So that's a lot of rain in this area that fell. A tremendous amount of rain in this area. Very interesting to see. Of course, we barely got anything. So if we go, and I'll link the storm reports in the description. I'm going to see if I could try to get some images from Jersey Central Power and Light, maybe. I don't know. I'm just curious because it looked like there was a lot of damage, and I would have liked to have seen some pictures. But you can see this front that's been hung up to our south all day long, and they've been getting showers and thunderstorms training over New Jersey, the southern part of New Jersey, all day long, and just started to end as we got into the afternoon. But quite a bit of rain there, tremendous amount of rain. If we look at the rivers and lakes, I'm curious if any of them are at flood stage. So let's try to look at that. Said there's a lot to talk about here, so rivers and lakes. Load, please. I don't see any gauges and floods, man. Alright, I don't see any flooding on the rivers. There's mainly flash flooding of the roads, I guess. I don't see anything on the rivers. Okay. So let's talk about our tropical systems. We have a lot of activity with that going on. We first start off, I was talking about this in the Gulf. Well, we now have Tropical Storm Hanna. So we'll start off with Tropical Storm Hanna, and we'll read the public advisory for that. So Hanna forecast is to make landfall as a hurricane in South Texas tomorrow. So its location is 27.3 north, 94.4 west, 190 miles east of Corpus Christi, Texas, 195 miles east-northeast of Port Mansfield, Texas. Maximum sustained winds at 50 miles an hour. It's moving as west at 10 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 998 millibars, 29.47 inches. A storm surge warning is in effect for Baffin Bay to Sargent, Texas. Hurricane warning is in effect for Baffin Bay to Mesquite Bay, Texas. And a tropical storm warning is in effect for the mouth of the Rio Grande in Baffin Bay, Texas, and Mesquite Bay in St. Louis Pass, Texas. So it is a max sustained winds near 50 miles an hour. Let's see, extending outward, the winds extend outward up to 60 miles from the center. So that is what Hanna is, and we're going to look at our map here. So where's that map? The warning cone map. Here we go. So here's what it looks like. So it's going to be heading this area of southern Texas, Tropical Storm Hanna. And then we have Gonzalo. This is Gonzalo here. And then I got to talk about the Pacific storm too. So Gonzalo, and very active year this year, very active. We're setting records. It's so active. So this isn't going to affect the United States, but Gonzalo continues westward. Forecast to bring gusty winds and heavy rain to portions of the southern Windward Islands beginning on Saturday. Location 10 north, 56.3 west, about 340 miles east of the southern Windward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles an hour. So it's still remaining kind of weak. West at 270, and the pressure is 29.77 inches. I'm not going to spend too much time with this storm. It's a small storm. And the winds of tropical storm force winds only extend outward up to 25 miles from the center. So this, and if we look at this, you'll see here that it's not going. It's mainly gonna weaken, and it's right. This is gonna be a weak storm. It's not really very impressive. I'm more concerned about Hanna, and then what we have going on in the eastern Pacific, which is Douglas, Hurricane Douglas. This is heading for Hawaii, and Hawaii doesn't get hurricanes that often. So we're gonna look at the public advisory for this. Hurricane Douglas continues to track toward the Hawaiian Islands as of 2 p.m. Location 17.4 north, 144.3 west, 725 miles east-southeast of Hilo, Hawaii. And hurricane watch is in effect for Hawaii County, Maui County, including Maui, Lanai, Molokai, and Kalahui. So they have a hurricane watch. As of 2 p.m., the center of Hurricane Douglas was located in latitude 17.4 north, longitude 144.3 west. It's moving toward the west-northwest at near 18 miles an hour. Maximum sustained winds are near 115 miles an hour with higher gusts. Douglas is a Category 3 hurricane. They're predicting gradual weakening as it moves over cooler waters. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 115 miles. The estimated minimum central pressure is 967 millibars. That's 28.56 inches. And this one is heading, like I said, we're very concerned about it. It's heading toward Hawaii, but it is forecast to weaken. But Hawaii doesn't see a lot of hurricanes that much, so again, it's just very active this season. All right, tropical tidbits. Let's look at the current storms on the satellite here. I believe I'm already 20 minutes into this weather update. Tropical Storm Hanna. Gotta wait for the satellite to loop. And this is the one I'm really going to be focusing on here. Look at that. Really great convection here. It's really looking healthy, and it's over that warm Gulf, so you know it's going to pick up some energy. And let me change this to the shortwave and the visible so you can see what it looks like here. So there you go. Look at that. You can really see that convection there popping all around the center. This thing is really continuing to strengthen quite rapidly. Okay, and then we have Gonzalo. This is Gonzalo. Very compact and very weak too. So I'm not going to really see it really starting to look very disorganized there. So I'm not going to really spend too much time on that. And then we have the monster that is Hurricane Douglas, and this is the monster here that's heading for Hawaii. So there you go. Really impressive looking storm there. Just real perfect symmetry there. Really not impressive looking. And here's what it looks like on the high resolution satellite, by the way. It's perfect symmetry there on that. Perfect symmetry. And then here is, so that's Douglas. This is Hanna right there, looking healthy as well. And can't even find what's his name. Gonzalo. Okay, let's just take a look at the models briefly, and then I'm just going to go over the forecast for this weekend because we know it's going to be hot, and we also have to look at the Hanna. Oh yeah, I got to look at the models with Hanna too. I'm going to start looking at Hanna, and this is what it looks like right now on the GFS. And we're going to take a look and see how the GFS handles landfall, and you can see it just strengthens it. Look at that. Really picks up a lot of strength because of those warm Gulf temperatures and the favorable conditions, and that's why this is going to be a hurricane when it makes landfall in southern Texas. And that's quite a nice looking shield of wind and rain around that center there that the GFS predicts. Let's look at the winds. The wind forecast here. And the wind forecast, you can see it's got some deep reds and purples there as it makes landfall, which this is in knots, so it goes up to 52, I believe, on the miles an hour. This will be probably a Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane when it makes landfall there, according to the GFS, and it would be making landfall tomorrow. So this is something that's going to have to be watched. Obviously, the news should be down there and talking about it, covering this, but they probably won't be. Hopefully the Weather Channel is. Let's go look at the NAM 12 kilometer on this. The NAM is much weaker with this thing. Why is the NAM so weak with this? Oh, forget about it. The NAM is completely off. I'm not even gonna bother with that. Let's look at the HRRR. I can look at the 18Z HRRR and we can see how this. What is wrong with the NAM? I mean, it's got nothing there. I don't understand what's going on with the NAM. It's not even picking up the storm. So this is the HRRR here, and this is the wind here, and you can see not quite as strong with the wind, but again, I think the model's underestimated. But I think we're going to see a Category 1 hurricane type winds as it makes landfall. There it goes, making its way inland, and again, this is tomorrow afternoon. So early tomorrow afternoon, it's going to make landfall in southern Texas. That is Hanna. Okay, so those are the models I'm pretty much going to use right now. I'll put this back to the precip look here, so you can get an idea of what this looks like on the precipitation on the HRRR. Not quite as well organized as the GFS, but I think this is definitely closer to reality that we're going to see a Category 1. It might even become a Category 2. Probably just a Category 1 hurricane, but still a formidable, hopefully you can see that, formidable storm definitely to hit southern Texas for sure. Just so much to cover in this. So, all right. I'm trying to remember everything. It's a little overwhelming, so. All right, now I'll go back to the CONUS view and we'll talk about the weather pattern for our area. And I'll go back to GFS. And we'll go back to look at the upper air here. So there's Hanna right there. You can see it making landfall right there. And you can see how it becomes stronger right? And that's what's the dangerous part about the storm is that when a strengthening tropical storm or hurricane moves ashore, when it's on the uptick is when it's most potent. So when it's strengthening, that's when it's more dangerous. As you can see, we have this dreaded ridge that is built up over the east, and that means it's going to be a hot weekend. And you can clearly see that heat is just coming right around. So if we draw right here, you'll see that heat is just getting pushed into our area, and we're going to just bake, especially because it's going to be like a westerly flow, and that's what really kills us, as you know, when you see the isobars look like that. And that's so we're going to be dealing with a lot of heat, and it continues to persist. And we don't really get that relief until this trough tries to come through next week and bring us some relief Wednesday into Thursday, and then we start seeing the ridge die down a little bit. But look what happens; it comes right back again once we get into August. So this summer is just the summer from absolute hell for us. A summer from absolute hell. I'll look at the European model. You'll see the same thing here. That's the European model there. See that ridge? And then there's the trough. It's a little slow with bringing that trough in for next week. But then the ridge comes right back again. Though it does want to develop some kind of cutoff in the east. That's not showing up on the GFS. We'll have to see about that. So I do want to look at windy.com because that is the European model, and I want to see how it also handles the landfall of Hanna in southern Texas. So these are the sustained winds right now. This is its interpretation of it. So we have a sustained wind at 36 miles an hour. And north of that landfall is where you're going to have that wind coming in off the Gulf. So let me move this into tomorrow here, 10 a.m. And see how much stronger it gets? So it really explodes it. And this is the concern. This whole area, Corpus Christi, this whole area right here, you're going to have a hurricane with, you're going to have sustained winds 50 miles an hour. Of course, it could be stronger than that. If we look at the wind gusts, they'll definitely be higher than that. And there you go. That's about hurricane force. So I expect this to be a minimal hurricane, but a strengthening hurricane, and that's what makes it so dangerous. And this whole area here is just going to get clocked tomorrow afternoon by this. And it's going to be quite a storm for this area. I don't remember the last time a hurricane landfalled in this particular area of Texas, Corpus Christi. I know it's been a while, so I don't remember the last time it happened, but usually the hurricanes landfall a little further up, but this one is landfalling down here because of the strength of the upper level ridge, and so you're seeing these very high winds here. So you'll see hurricane. I'm worried about a lot of flooding. I hope they've evacuated this area here, these barrier islands, because I have a feeling there's going to be a pretty substantial storm surge tomorrow, and I'll keep on top of it. Anyway, let's get back to our weather now. Of course, the main thing is, of course, all this tropical activity going on. But let's go and take a look at what's going to be happening at the surface. We'll first look at the NAM 12 kilometer, and we'll take a look and see when our next precipitation chance will be. No, I have it right. When our next precipitation chance will be for our area. Obviously, we avoided a lot of the rain from that stalled front off to the south. So we're staying dry tomorrow, more or less. And then it is not until probably it keeps us dry right to the period, pretty much. I mean, isolated shower, thunderstorm offshore, but you can take a look at the way those isobars are oriented, and that's the thing. And I want to use the NAM for the dew point because the GFS is constantly off with the dew points, and you'll see we're not going to see any relief from these dew points tomorrow. We move this along here. You'll see dew points. So they come down maybe a little bit. Maybe we'll see some mid-60s, maybe. Across Long Island, maybe mid to upper 60s, but then on Sunday the humidity comes right back, and look at the wind direction too. We go southwest and then west southwest on Monday, and that's really going to kill us as far as the heat goes. And if we look at the temperature forecast on the NAM, which we're going to go to now, you see it's going to heat up tomorrow quite a bit, probably mid to upper 80s on the island. 90 or greater in the city of New Jersey, and then Sunday, where a lot of us are in the low 90s and low and mid 90s, And then Monday, we really blaze. We're going to have probably mid to upper 90s on Monday, according to this Euro. We can look at the GFS, too. It probably has the same idea. Yeah, even hot. Yeah, we could see an 100-degree temperature on Monday, perhaps. And then Sunday, also very hot. Tomorrow's the only day that's going to sort of be, it's going to be the best of the three, but not great by any stretch of the imagination. We'll look at the skies. And you'll see here tomorrow, we'll probably have some clouds around, maybe. Probably some cumulus clouds. There might be a sea breeze trying to get going in the afternoon. We'll have to see. Monday looks like probably not too many clouds, so it's going to be brutal. And then Tuesday, not too many clouds either, but it'll probably be brutal. And then this front comes through. And this will hopefully bring us a nice Wednesday, because if we, again, look at the dew points on here, you will see that the dew points have dropped now into the low 60s and 50s. And that's going to help bring in substantially more comfortable air, and we have that lower humidity around for the later part of next week before it starts returning as we head into August. Right there, it looks like some kind of circulation there is trying to get going there. A weak tropical system, perhaps. Who knows? Into August, to see another situation, perhaps like we had with I forgot her name already, Faye. So. We'll have to see. So let's look at the temperature forecast as we head into next week, and you'll see as going to Wednesday, it's still going to be kind of warm, though. We're going to still have mid to upper 80s, but the humidity will be lower, and that'll make it a little on Long Island. Maybe still 90s in Jersey, and then we drop a little more on Thursday. We got mid 80s and mid 80s for Friday. So and then we see it heat right back up again as we head into the long. Well, actually, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it does eventually start heating it back up, but that's the long range. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. Hopefully, it will stay cool for more than a couple of days, hopefully, because this weather has just been unbelievable. I've been talking about the weather now for 35 minutes because what's going on is so unusual with the thunderstorms last night, and then we got to look at these water temperatures too. Let me go to that too. Let me go to the marine forecast look here, and look at these water temperatures because they're insane. So let's see. So this is practice heat safety, and I just want to show you this here for a moment. So this is very important. You know, really they should be allowing indoor dining in New Jersey and New York City but, you know, if people aren't willing to fight for it, then they're not going to get it. You know, you have to fight for it. Yeah, let me just look at the marine forecasts. And look at some of these buoys. Not marine forecasts, marine observation. I'm sorry. There's so much going on. My mind is kind of like an overload. All right. So these water temperatures, yeah, 78, 79. Very warm water temperatures. This is the buoy off New York Harbor. The one off Fire Island, 20 miles south of Fire Island, is reporting a water temperature of 78 as well. So very warm water temperatures. And we're probably going to, those water temperatures are probably going to go above 80. In the next few days again. So very unusual to see, very concerning. Nobody really wants to talk about it, but it's a really substantial problem. And you can see here 3 tropical systems to watch, though. It's Tropical Storm Hanna and Douglas that are threatening the United States. So that is going to be it for this weather update. I'm going to try to keep you posted on Hanna as it makes landfall in southern Texas. Take care, everybody.